While we are in between storm systems for about 24 hours, we take a look at the rainfall yesterday. How much more common is that becoming in January? And a big storm is going to clip southern Minnesota. Just how much can the Twin Cities expect? We'll break that down. Well, our latest system wasn't a big snow producer for southern Minnesota, but it was a decent rainfall maker. About an inch, 2 inches in some spots in southern Minnesota and up into the northern suburbs and especially northwestern Wisconsin. We had a little pocket of some higher amounts, 0.7 inches officially at MSP Airport, but rainfall was pretty substantial. Most of this in southern Minnesota fell as liquid yesterday, about 34 hundredths of an inch at the airport, anywhere from a quarter to a half inch of rain from a swath in northern Iowa into south central Minnesota. And January rainfall is becoming an increasing phenomenon with climate change. It's now 2 to 4 times more likely to get a rain event in January than it was a century ago. And again, we saw about 34 hundredths of an inch of liquid. January temperatures have warmed at least 5 degrees, depending on how you look at the spread of temperatures. And to boot, just 90 miles south of Minnesota, we had tornadoes in eastern Iowa yesterday. Now, it does happen there very, very rarely. This is the first January tornado event in Iowa in 56 years, however, so pretty rare. And January has been a very warm month so far. After one cold month we had in December, running more than 6 degrees above normal in the Twin Cities, 7 in St. Cloud, northern Minnesota, the biggest discrepancy, 7 to 9 degrees above normal, but less so to the west. This is January so far, big pocket of anomalous warmth across central Canada with some cold pockets around Greenland, parts of the Arctic in Canada, but most of us pretty mild. So we have got a winter storm watch already posted for tomorrow. This goes into effect late Wednesday evening for most places in southern Minnesota. The Twin Cities not included in this because it's not quite a sure thing that we get that 6 inches or more. That is the winter storm criteria. Pretty high probability that we see more than 2 inches. This is from the Weather Service, but less so on that 6-inch end. Whereas along I-90 and towards Rochester, that's where we're talking about pretty good bet of more than probably 5-6 inches of snow. We could even see some 9-10 inch amounts, I think, in a few places. So this latest system is out of here. We're not going to see sun, I'm afraid. This will fill in, but the next system is already off to the southwest, and that is going to be spreading the moisture into southwestern Minnesota already by late Wednesday afternoon. Snow showers move in. This will primarily be a Wednesday night snowfall event, so nice and concise. We've had some systems this year where it seems like it's a 2-3 day event. At least it's going to be really confined to a 12-hour or less period. Heaviest snow looks to be around midnight and into the early morning hours tomorrow night, early Thursday. 10 different models, all pretty similar, remarkably in agreement here on the track, with the heaviest in Nebraska, into Iowa, and then far southern Minnesota. And so for the Twin Cities, being on the northern edge of that significant snow, looks like the most probable range at this point is in that 3 to 5 inch range. A little more if you're south of the Twin Cities and less if you're, of course, north of the Twin Cities. So places like Lakeville might see closer to that 5-inch end, whereas some northern suburbs might only see a couple of inches. And again, pretty much wrapped up by Thursday morning. I think the afternoon will be dry and still mild the next couple days. So that snow will be kind of a wetter variety, not as wet as the one a couple weeks ago, but generally not the fluffy, powdery kind that'll blow around. It is a little cooler behind the system, but not below normal. Still mid-upper 20s through the weekend. Might see some sun this weekend. That's our best hope. Clouds will thicken back up, and we're still talking about some cooler weather next week. Still a question as to just how cold.